or anywhere around a bunch of people, and I don't do well
Are you
like that.
anti?
The WWE Universe thought they were tuning in for just another episode of Monday Night Raw. But what they got instead was a seismic moment that will be talked about for years. In a segment that blurred the lines between spectacle and statement, Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate who has stood atop the company for decades, was not only confronted but systematically dismantled by two hungry competitors who decided their time is now. It wasn't a brawl, it wasn't an accident, it was a revolution playing out live in front of millions. The beast's aura and the setup as always, Lesnar made his entrance with that signature swagger. His music hit, the crowd erupted, and the energy surged as the former UFC champion and multi-time world title holder strutted down the aisle. He grabbed the microphone to do what he's done countless times, remind the world of his dominance, mock the locker room, and assert his status as WWE's most destructive force. But beneath the bravado, something felt different. The crowd didn't just pop. They buzzed with anticipation, as if they could sense something waiting in the wings, a storm about to roll in. The arrival of Bronson Reed. And then it happened. The lights cut out. Silence swept the arena. When the lights snapped back on, standing at the top of the ramp was Bronson Reed. At over 330 pounds, Reed looked less like a man and more like a nightmare made flesh. He didn't move. He didn't speak. He just stared at Lesnar, exuding menace. The audience froze between cheers and fear, sensing danger in the air. For the first time in ages, Brock Lesnar cracked a smile, not of mockery, but of recognition. He thought Reed was another obstacle to flatten. What he didn't know was that Reed wasn't alone. Enter Bron Breakker. Just when it seemed like Reed's presence was the twist, Bron Breakker's music hit. The arena exploded as the young powerhouse sprinted down the ramp with fire in his eyes. A second-generation star with wrestling bloodline pride, Breakker charged like a missile, his intent crystal clear. With Reed on one side and Breakker circling to the other, Lesnar found himself suddenly surrounded. For years, the beast has been the predator. On this night, the predator realized he was the prey, the first blow that shook the ring. Reed and Breakker slid into the ring at the same time, and all hell broke loose. Lesnar went for a clothesline, but Reed ducked and answered with a shoulder block that sent Brock flying across the canvas, an image fans had never seen before. Before he could recover, Breakker blasted him with a spear that folded him nearly in half. The arena erupted. The beast incarnate, who had humbled legends like The Undertaker and Goldberg, was lying on the mat, rattled, vulnerable, human, dismantling the aura of invincibility. What followed wasn't simply a beatdown, it was an unraveling of mystique. Reed hoisted Lesnar and slammed him down with a thunderous powerbomb that echoed through the arena. Breakker followed with a gorilla press slam that showcased freakish strength. These weren't just moves, they were statements. They showed the world that Brock Lesnar, once untouchable, could be broken. Fans watched in awe, recording the chaos, knowing they were witnessing history rewrite itself in real time. Security fails to contain the chaos. Officials scrambled, security rushed the ring, but the destruction had been carefully planned. Reed flattened a guard with a clothesline that sent him flying, while Breakker hurled another into the barricade like a rag doll. Every attempt to intervene only underscored the dominance of the two attackers. Meanwhile, Lesnar clawed at the ropes, trying to rise, his face showing something rare. Not fear, but recognition that he had been caught in a storm he couldn't stop. The finisher that stopped the show. The climax came when Reed and Breakker combined their forces. Reed set Lesnar up for a powerbomb, while Breakker scaled the top rope. Together, they delivered a devastating move that shook the entire ring, leaving Lesnar sprawled motionless. The silence in the arena was deafening. Then Reed climbed to the top rope again, delivering his tsunami splash with full force. The visual was chilling. Lesnar crushed under 330 pounds of fury, while Breakker stood over him with a look that said the new era had arrived. The declaration of war with Lesnar down, Reed grabbed the microphone and locked eyes with the camera. He told the world that Brock had lived off his reputation for too long, that the era of part-timers was finished, and that a new order was here. Breaker followed, declaring that if fans wanted to see real monsters, they needed to look no further than what they had just done to the Beast. It wasn't trash talk. It was a mission statement delivered over the fallen body of WWE's most dominant figure. Social media explodes. The moment the show ended, the internet caught fire. Clips of the ambush spread across platforms like wildfire. Hashtags for both Reed and Breaker trended worldwide. Fans split into camps. Some hailed the pair as heroes who finally stood up to the dominance of part-time stars, while others accused them of going too far. Yet everyone agreed on one thing. This was the most talked-about moment Raw had delivered in years. And that's what wrestling thrives on: conversation, debate, and buzz. The forgotten potential of Reed and Breaker. Both men had been building momentum for months. Reed, with his rare combination of size and agility, had consistently delivered inside the ring, but had been overlooked when it came to main event opportunities. Breaker, with his lineage, charisma, and rapid development, had shown all the signs of a future world champion. Yet WWE had held them back, placing them in mid-card feuds while part-time legends took the spotlight. This night was their way of rewriting their own narratives. Live, unscripted, undeniable. The money matches waiting from a business standpoint, the storyline is a goldmine. Reed versus Lesnar is the clash of immovable forces fans dream about. Breaker versus Lesnar offers a generational battle that would pack arenas. And a 2-on-1 handicap match, Reed and Breaker against Brock, is main event material for any pay-per-view card. WWE has been handed fresh stories on a silver platter. The only question is whether they'll seize it or squander it. The locker room message. What happened wasn't just about Brock Lesnar, it was about every wrestler in the back. By dismantling the Beast, Reed and Breaker sent a message: no one is untouchable. They proved that the hierarchy can shift in an instant. For young stars grinding daily with little recognition, this was inspiration. For veterans, it was a warning that their time at the top might not be as secure as they think. The reaction behind the curtain. Reports suggest Lesnar wasn't happy about the events, and his influence in WWE is well known. But wrestling history shows that true greatness comes when veterans use their stature to elevate the next generation. Austin, The Rock, Cena, all of them became icons because someone gave them the chance to shine. Reed and Breaker grabbed their chance without asking permission, and the fans rewarded them by making them the talk of the industry. The revolution has begun. At its core, this wasn't just an ambush. It was a revolution. It was a refusal to accept the old formula of part-timers dominating while full-time stars wait their turn. It was the embodiment of hunger, frustration, and ambition, exploding in a way that could reshape WWE for years. Reed and Breaker didn't just attack Brock Lesnar, they attacked the very system that has defined WWE for a generation. Conclusion: WWE at the crossroads. Now the ball is in WWE's court. They can punish Reed and Breaker for stepping out of line, or they can harness the organic energy this moment created to launch two new megastars. The choice will determine whether this becomes one of the greatest storylines of the modern era or a footnote in wasted potential. One thing is certain: after Raw, nothing will be the same. The revolution has begun, and there is no going back.